Good day, everyone. I am Joel Macabago, and I'm going to present my topic, which is about international scenes in education in Australia and China. So let me first discuss the Australia. James Cook sailed along the eastern coast of Australia in 1770, making him the first non-European to do so. He sailed aboard HMS Endeavour, charting the coast, and he claimed it for Britain. So he named it New South Wales. Wales. Captain Cook is an English explorer, so considered one of the greatest navigators and explorers of all the time. Australian independence. The settlement of Australia was unexpectedly influenced by 13 North American colonies gaining their independence from Britain as a result of winning the American Revolutions and signing a peace treaty with Britain in Paris. So after gaining independence, both the United States and Australia share a historical emphasis on education as a cornerstone of a moral society. So while this emphasis has manifested differently in each country, both have recognized the importance of education in shaping responsible citizens and fostering a just society. So public and compulsory educations began to gain tractions in the late 19th century and progressively expanded its reach throughout the 20th and 21st centuries. This expansion was driven by a desire for an educated citizens and workforce. So next, we have the education system in Australia. The Australian academic year begins in late January or early February for school students and runs to mid-December. So most schools have 3 or 4 terms a year. So term 1 begins in late January or early February. Term 2 in late April or early May. So in term 3 in mid to late July. So last is the term 4 in early to mid-October. So the language of instructions is English. So we have also a primary educations and secondary educations in Australia. Primary education in Australia generally consists of 7 or 8 years, starting with kindergarten, also called foundation or preschools, and ending in year 6 or 7. Australia primary education typically spans from kindergarten or foundation year, pre-year 1 to year 6 or 7, lasting for 7 or 8 years. So it focuses on developing essential literacy, numeracy, and social skills along with foundational knowledge about the world. So ang primary schools in Australia is part of the larger Australian education system. So age limit of 5 to 12 years. So subject is English, mathematics, science, and technology and history. So next is the secondary education in Australia. So we have two, the junior secondary educations and senior secondary education. So junior secondary education is typically refers to the years between 7 and 10. It bridges the gap between primary and senior secondary educations, providing a foundation for students as they move toward more specialized learning in their senior years. So, junior secondary schools often focus on developing essential skills, fostering a sense of belonging, and preparing students for future academic and vocational paths. So, ang subject is English, mathematics, science, and social studies. So, senior secondary education is the final 2 years of secondary school. So specifically years 11 and 12. So these years are crucial for students as they prepare for tertiary educations or future career pathway. So the final school leaving qualification is known as the Senior Secondary Certifications of Education, which is recognized across Australia for entry into higher education. So the subject for senior secondary education is the art, business, economics, career developments, English, humanities, and social science, ICT and design, languages, and mathematics and science. What makes Australian education unique? So student-focused educations. The aim of Australian teacher is to help students become well-rounded by balancing their studies and including ample sports and extracurricular activity. So Australian teachers promote active learning. So students do not just listen to lectures but also have to write down what teachers ask them to do as part of the lesson activity. So the third one is education is personalized and equitable. So teacher make the best use of data analytics tools to receive early alerts to provide students timely support in their learning needs. So the last one is assessment is well designed and provide quality feedback. So Australian teachers take a step ahead to offer students a lot of specific feedback throughout their studies so that students can apply such guidance to continually reinforce and build their learning. Teacher education in Australia, minimum of 4 years of higher education. So with a focus on professional development and subject specializations. A 4-year bachelor degree followed by potential master or doctoral studies provides a solid foundations for professional developments and subject specialization. This level of education equip individuals with in-depth knowledge, specialized skills, and the ability to contribute meaningfully to their field. So, next is the students engage in 6 weeks of supervised students teaching in their final year. So student teaching allows future teachers to translate the concept and theories they've learned in their courses into practical classroom skills. Lesson from Australia. So managing decentralized education system in a very efficient and productive way. So establishing clear rules and responsibilities, implementing robust monitoring and evaluation system, and fostering collaborations and communications across all levels. So two is the longer compulsory education has brought amazing result for the country. So now let's proceed to the China. Historians classify China as one of the 4 cradles of civilizations. So from its beginning as a political entity, it has viewed education as essential to its existence. So scholars were considered of greater importance than soldiers. Education institutions were all well established by 2000 BC. These institutions were only for the ruling and wealthy classes, for rich people. So that's why China had established government schools and local schools beginning in 800 BC for all, to produce skilled and educated individuals who could contribute to society and the state. This included developing individuals who could understand and uphold Confucian ideals, which emphasized moral leadership and the importance of education. So China even had established civil service examinations. The examinations were designed to identify the most talented and knowledgeable individuals for government position. Next, Confucianism. Confucianism probably is the biggest influence in educations of China throughout the entire Chinese history. Confucianism encouraged a commitment to learning and scholarship, emphasizing the value of knowledge and wisdom for leadership and public service. Confucius' view on education is that education is seen as a way to cultivate virtuous leaders who can inspire and guide their people through moral examples. So Confucianism code of behavior and religious is educations, good manners, right morals, respect for others, love of traditions, obedience to one's parents. Education system in China. So, in education system in China, 9-year compulsory education is free, while senior high school and higher educations are not compulsory and require entrance exam. So, the language of instructions is Mandarin. Next is the primary education in China. It is a mandatory 6-year program for children aged 6 to 12. So it is the first stage of the 9-year compulsory education system. So in China, primary education is a mandatory 6 years program for children aged 6 to 12. So it is overseen by the Ministry of Education and focuses on core subjects like Chinese, math, and social studies, as well as other subjects like music, arts, and physical education. So students are expected to pass graduation exam in Chinese and math to advance to junior secondary school. Next is secondary education in China. So we have the junior secondary and senior secondary. So junior secondary is a junior middle school education. It consists the last 3 years of 9-year compulsory education. This means students in grade 7, 8, and 9 are typically in junior secondary. The Chinese government mandates that all children attend a minimum of 9 years of schooling encompassing primary and junior secondary educations. So this compulsory education is free of tuition fees and miscellaneous fees. So next is the senior secondary. So ito yung 3 years high school or called senior middle school, grade 10 or 12. So students can choose between general academic senior secondary schools or vocational senior secondary schools. So the curriculum is designed to prepare students for the National Higher Education Entrance Examination. So it's called Gaokao. So compulsory 13 subjects. So politics, Chinese language, mathematics, foreign language, history, geography, physics, chemistry, biology, physical educations, music, arts, and household skills. Assessment and evaluation method in China. So we have the standardized test and classroom-based assessment. So standardized tests are cornerstone of the Chinese education system. The most well-known of this is the Gaokao, so a rigorous and comprehensive examination that covers a wide range of subjects, including Chinese, mathematics, and foreign language, usually English. So next is the classroom-based assessments. Classroom-based assessment in China are typically more frequent and less formal than standardized tests. So they include quizzes, homework assignments, and class participation. Next is the Gaokao or College Education Entrance Exam. So in China, applying to college is about one thing only, the Gaokao, the National Higher Education Entrance Examination. So this Gaokao, it serves as the primary pathways for students to gain admission to universities in China. So this includes Chinese language and literature, mathematics, and foreign language, often English. Teaching methodology. So the Chinese believe that students learn best by memorizing information supplied through repetitions and note-taking. So teachers therefore use a systematic approach to planning and delivering information-packed lessons to students who passively receive information. Teacher education in China. So bachelor degree, additionally, at least 2 years of classroom experience is often expected. So next is the annual Teachers' Day on September 10. So Teachers' Day. And the Act of 1993, teacher must be respected by the society. So the teaching profession is respectable profession in China. Lesson from China is one key takeaway is the strong belief in the power of hard work and the importance of continuous learning, with a significant emphasis on test preparations and rote memorization. That's all for my discussion. Thank you for listening.